What men want, the top 8 things that men fall in love with in women. Have you ever wondered what the things are that make men fall in love with a woman? Well, in this training, I'm going to cover the top 8 things that make men fall in love. I'm Kevin Anthony from Magnetize Your Man, and I am a certified sexologist, tantra counselor, NLP practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over 10 years, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex they've ever had. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, just like I said in the last video I did, I'm going to say it again. Not all men will fall in love with these things, but the type of men that you want to magnetize, the quality men that you want in your life, these are the things that make them fall in love. Okay, the first one is, they're nice to him. Shocking. Oh my God, breaking news. The reality is that not all women are nice to men. Now, I know, before we get the negative comments, not all men are nice to women also. I get it. But this video is specifically about what men are looking for. What are the qualities in women that make them fall in love? And her being nice to him is absolutely one of them. For a man, having a woman in my life who is my biggest cheerleader, who is nice to me, who encourages me, who says good things to me, really, really means a lot. And if I am in a relationship with somebody who's not doing that, it's simply not a sustainable relationship. It's not one that I would want to stay in. The second one is somewhat similar, but different. They don't nag or complain. This is something that many people do, and it again happens on both sides. However, when a woman is constantly nagging, do this or do this, or you don't do this, or complaining about, this never happens or that never happens, it really, really destroys the love in a relationship. And I can tell you, even my wife had said that, when she was younger, she caught herself and realized that she was doing this frequently in her relationship and it was having a negative impact. And when she shifted that one thing to just stop the nagging and complaining, her entire relationship shifted. And so when we got together, and especially after we got married, she made a conscious effort to always make sure that she was not doing that. And if she ever caught herself, she would stop it right away. She knew how important that was to a harmonious relationship. Okay, the third one is that she can clearly communicate her needs and her wants. This is huge for us guys. You've heard guys say it a million times, I'm not a mind reader. How am I supposed to know what she wants? We aren't mind readers, and this is another thing that my wife used to say all the time. She would say, look, I know you're not a mind reader. I want to tell you, here's what I need. Help me with this, right? We like as men to have the playbook, so to speak, right? We want to know what we're supposed to do. And it's really, really helpful when our partner can clearly communicate to us what it is that she needs and also what she wants in the relationship. That takes the guesswork out of it. I have seen way too many men, because I do a lot of coaching with men, I've seen way too many men that get sort of paralyzed by not knowing what to do. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, and therefore they don't do anything, which only makes things worse. So the more that you can clearly communicate what it is that you need and what it is that you want, the more relaxed and at ease he's going to be, and the more he's going to fall in love with you. Number 4 is a high level of emotional maturity, or what is sometimes also called emotional intelligence, or EQ. This one is an absolute must for me. Not only would I not fall in love with somebody who did not have a high level of emotional maturity, I wouldn't even date somebody that doesn't have a high level of emotional maturity. That's how important this one is. It is really important for a woman to be aware of her emotions, to be able to communicate them, control them, have mature conversations when difficult situations arise, as they will, without, flying off the handle, going into the nagging, the criticizing, the blaming, or any of that. Number 5 is a strong sex drive. We're men. We're not going to apologize for that. Most of us have a fairly strong sex drive ourselves, and we would like our partners to at least roughly match that sex drive. It's not anything strange or weird or abnormal. It just is how it is. I coach a lot of men, and one of the biggest complaints I hear from men is that their woman or their wife doesn't want to have sex or doesn't want to have sex very often. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. And one of the things that I work with men on is, what are you doing that is preventing her from wanting sex? That's a whole discussion in and of itself. But let's say he's not doing anything and she still does not have a strong sex drive. A lot of men will be very hesitant to enter into or stay in a long-term relationship or fall in love with a woman who doesn't have that. Number 6, they have a high degree of compatibility. One of the things that men are really looking for is somebody that is similar enough to them. They're compatible enough. They have similar interests. They have, and we'll talk about this in a minute, similar fundamental values. But there are enough things in common there that they could really see themselves in a long-term relationship, possibly a lifetime. So it's really important that there are things there that you are compatible with. So if you're, you like all these things over here and he likes all those things over there, and they're not really compatible, that can be a problem. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have your own things that you like and he can't have his own things that he likes. That's fine. But there has to be enough overlap in the middle there for him to really want to be with you. And that brings me to number 7, which is shared common fundamental values. This is really important. If you really want a man to fall in love with you, he has to fall in love with all of you, every bit of you. And that comes down to your fundamental values. How do you see the world? What are the things that are absolutely core to the essence of who you are, how you show up in this world? So it's really important that you have a fairly high number of those in common. If your fundamental values are very different from his, there's not a very good chance that he's going to fall in love with you. And lastly, number 8, you share similar goals for the future. If you want a man to fall in love with you and you want him to commit to you long term, he's got to know that you have a similar vision for what the future is going to be. So, where do you want to live? How do you want your career to go? Do you want to have kids? Those sorts of things, those life moments, those life directions need to be fairly similar. If he's looking at you as a potential life partner, he's not going to, jump all in if you have completely different goals for what you want in life. So as you can see, men care about a lot more than just looks. Looks may attract us from the start, but if you really want us to fall in love with you, if you really want us to commit to you, then we're going to need more than just looks. And that's great, because you don't really want a man who wants you just for your looks anyway. You want a man that wants you for all of you, all of the parts of you. And so that is what we are looking for as men when we want to fall in love with a woman. So if you have a man that you want to fall madly in love with you, or if you're looking for a man to fall madly in love with you, make sure that you have or are doing these things. Next, if you'd like to hear more content from me, you can follow me right here on YouTube at Kevin and Celine. You can also listen to the Love Lab podcast on any podcast platform, and also right here on my YouTube channel. Also, if you go to kevinandceline.com/vault, you can sign up to get access to my free sex, love, and relationship resource library. There is tons of great information in there. That link is in the description below. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I'll see you soon.